Hello, my name is Marcello and I'm here to talk about the storyboard for hybrid cloud. So let's begin. As you know, storyboard is part of the architecture value realization program led by our SE transformation team. So the idea today is apply the storyboard for hybrid cloud for a fictitious customer called ACME Corporation. So to begin, let's go through the snapshot. The idea going through the snapshot is first, identify your key stakeholders on your customer, in this case of ACME Corporation, and then work together to create a storytelling through all those nice charts here. So to start on the snapshot, we identified a CTO of ACME Corporation, and working together with him, we put in a nice chart some of the good summary on the exact situation that we have today at ACME Corp. So we identified that the main points in regards to hybrid cloud is around the applications, because now applications are anywhere, everywhere. They need to be online, up and running, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And on top of that, we realized that the infrastructure that supports the application is not only on-prem anymore. We have some of the customers going to the cloud, but not completely. But some of them, yes, has moved to the cloud completely, and we also have some kind of mixed environments. The applications, of course, they run over those infrastructure. Looking at the other side of the house, not only the infrastructure but the application itself, another thing we identified is that the companies are changing the behavior of consuming that application. Now they have a big shift on the applications being very dynamic rather than only being static as it was in the past. It means that some different mindsets like DevOps, continuous improvement, and continuous development is really key to the organizations for the success of their businesses. Also, management and visibility end-to-end of this whole new world of application is also very critical, because if it's out of service for a couple of minutes, it can disrupt very bad any kind of business. So for ACME Corp, it's no different. If you look at some of the pain points we put here, it goes around application visibility, flexibility, consumption model, and all other different pain points. As a snapshot, the idea is exactly that. Work with your customer to identify what is the exact situation in regards to that company, in regards to that technology. So then if we move to the threads, the idea in the threads is to identify if we do nothing in regards to the snapshot situation on the applications, what's going to happen. If I were to summarize, I would say, question yourself, is it already impacting you, or is it going to impact you in a short term? So most important, looking at those threads, what could go wrong if you do nothing in regards to the snapshot pain points we listed before? So here are some of those threats and situations that might be raised if you do nothing. So next topic is in regards to opportunity. So for the opportunities, the idea is that we start thinking about solution when you look back into the snapshot and threats, and what we have available today, looking at the high-level pillars to solve or to at least create a plan together with your customer, key stakeholder, to move on into that direction. So in this case, we identified that one key good solution we had as of today to address the application visibility and applications anywhere, everywhere situation that we capture during the snapshot creation would be what we call FSO, or full stack observability. Full stack observability is one big umbrella inside Cisco where we have different solutions addressing different parts of the threads and of the items we discussed during the snapshot. Some of the pillars of the FSO, if you go into the high level, we listed here under the opportunity chart, such as IT as a business, optimal application experience, end-to-end security, and reduce costs of day-to-day IT. Of course, that those topics, they might be surrounded over three main pillars: people, processes, and technologies. So the idea is, in high level, with this kind of solution, we address the snapshots as well as the threads. So moving forward, if you go to the next one, which is rethink, the idea is, now that we already addressed all the snapshot and threads and also gave one nice solution and possible solution to address all the threads and snapshots on the opportunity with the FSO, the idea is how we start to detail what is inside the FSO, so the CTO of ACME Corp would be able to better understand what we are talking about in the end of the day. So with the rethink, the idea is start breaking the FSO architecture into some macro building blocks with some very specific outcomes. One of those would be, okay, FSO can give you actionable insights. So with that, you would be providing a better application experience with your end user. More than that, looking at the security point, it's going to provide as well end-to-end security. Also, it's not only about the application, but the connectivity. With FSO, we are also able to provide seamless connectivity. And last but not least, of course, we also look at the operational side of the house. With FSO, we have some other solutions able to provide you operational excellence, managing your workloads. It doesn't matter if it's inside a cloud, a private or public cloud, but all in a very dynamic way. So next, the idea going through the run is really to go deep into the FSO solution, but looking at a more testing perspective. So the idea here is to really demonstrate each of the solutions we have inside FSO, so the customer can start seeing with his own eyes and play a little bit with each of those tools and take advantage of really tasting the solution before really deciding to move forward with this. One of the great examples I always use is, think of a day in the life without FSO and a day in the life with FSO, and pitch it to your customer or to your CTO in this case, so he understands very well what's going to be the difference on having those kind of solutions applied to their environment. So I'm talking about agreeing on running POCs, POVs, or even some lab demonstrations. Try to stick to a more practical demonstrations, because we see that this is most of the times where we see the customers really being more interested. So last but not least, going to the yield, the idea is, now that we run through all this discussion, creating a compelling story, looking at the snapshots, looking at the threads, addressing that in a high level with the opportunity, then going to a more detail with rethink and run. And through the run, we tested all the components of the solution we are suggesting, in this case the FSO, so Intersight, App Dynamics, ThousandEyes. Now that we have all those testings finished, the idea is to collect all the results and try to translate that to nice business outcomes. So in this case, I can give you some examples. So the idea is, in the end of the day, to provide to your customer, in this case CTO of ACME, some kind of nice charts where they could see by himself the benefits, like, okay, with this solution, we are going to be able to increase your customer satisfaction by 30%, reduce unplanned infrastructure outages by 40%, decrease time to identify and solve issues by 70%, and so on and so forth. So the idea here is to tie the nice storytelling that we created together, and then in the end of the day, they're going to be able to get this nice chart with all this story and articulate by themselves inside their own company. So that's the main idea and purpose of the storyboard, and hopefully it added value to you. So with that said, I'd like to thank you very much for watching this video, and let's go to the next one. Thank you.